It was later built into Windows 95.28. Microsoft has also published Windows for Pen Computing, a pen computing interface which was created in response to PenPoint OS by Geo Corporation. 2930. The operating environment was also given limited compatibility with then new 32-bit Windows API, by introducing Win32s, an enabling technology. 31. Microsoft has also provided Wing, an application program interface, to entice developers to move from DOS to Windows. 32. It has also provided our device-independent interface to graphics and printer hardware, and allowed programs to have both read and write capabilities to the WinGDC. 33. Unlike all previous versions, Windows 3.1 cannot run in real mode and it insists on the use of 80286 processors or above. Because of this, the maximum memory available was increased. When running Windows 3.1 in the 386 enhanced mode, the limit is 256 MB, in comparison with the previous 16 MB. 34. While Windows 3.0 was limited to 16 MB maximum memory, Windows 3.1 can access a theoretical 4 GB in the 386 enhanced mode. The actual practical ceiling is 256 MB. 35. Like its predecessors, it runs on 16-bit version of Windows. 18. It is also the first Windows to be distributed on Actrom. 13. 15. The setup interface was simplified. Express mode was introduced in order to automatically set up Windows. 14. 22. Microsoft had also published an online tutorial for users regarding the use of Windows 3.1 user interface. 2. 14. 20. Windows 3.1 for Central and Eastern Europe. Retail box of the Japanese version of Windows 3.1. A special version named Windows 3.1 for Central and Eastern Europe introduced 11 languages to Windows 3.1. 36. It has also provided support for the Cyrillic script. 37. The Czech, Hungarian, and Polish terms required this version, while the Russian ones required the Russian version of Windows 3.1. 38. Similarly, Microsoft also released Windows 3.1J with support for Japanese, which shipped 1.46 million copies in its first year on the market, 1993. In Japan. 39. Modular Windows. Modular Windows was built for real-time consumer electronics, and was designed to be controlled via television. 40. 41. It is a special version of Windows 3.1, which was designed to run on Tandy Video Information System. It allows users to run multimedia software without having to buy a personal computer. 42. 43. It also contains a software development kit, SDK, for programmers to write applications that run on devices that have modular Windows. The SDK was sold for $99. 44. Modular Windows was discontinued in 1994. 45. Windows 3.11. Released on the 8th of November, 1993, Windows 3.11 was introduced with repaired network problems which were present on Windows 3.1. 46. A minor update, new features were not present in this version. It also did no run on IBM's OS/2 for Windows. 47. 48. Windows 3.11 provided users to connect to each other as peers in order to share the resources of their computers. 49. Microsoft replaced all retail and OEM versions of Windows 3.1 with Windows 3.11 and provided a free upgrade to anyone who owned Windows 3.1. 46. Windows 3.2. An updated simplified Chinese version of Windows 3.1 was released in November 1993 as Windows 3.2.50.51. The update was limited to this language version, as it only fixed issues related to the complex input system for the simplified Chinese language. 50. A font editor is present in Windows 3.2. It is used to add new Chinese characters to the already existing fonts. 52. Windows for Workgroups. Windows for Workgroups served as an update to Windows 3.1, and it was the first version of Windows that was suitable for integrated networking. 53, 55, 54. Initially developed as an add-on for Windows 3.0, it was later released in 1992. It introduced drivers and protocols for peer-to-peer networking. 55. Windows for Workgroups was mostly orientated towards businesses. 3. Windows for Workgroups 3.1. The first version of Windows for Workgroups 3.1 was released on the 27th of October 1992. 56. Codenamed Winball and Sparta, it allows users to share files, printers, and chat online. Files could be accessed from other machines that run either Windows or DOS. 2. 57. The Microsoft Hearts card game was also added, while object linking and embedding, which was implemented in Windows 3.1, was also included in the Windows for Workgroups logo. Windows for Workgroups logo. Windows for Workgroups version. 58, 59. The Workgroups version also introduced a Microsoft Mail program, which allowed users to receive and send email, and Microsoft Schedule Plus, a time management app. 57, 58. Windows for Workgroups can also be accessed from an OS/2 client that uses the Server Message Block, SMB, a protocol used for sharing files and printers over local networks. 60, 61. It has also allowed Windows to use the NetBEUI protocol. 2. The price sat at $69 for Windows 3.1 users. 62. Windows for Workgroups 3.11. Network capabilities of Windows for Workgroups 3.11. The other version, Windows for Workgroups 3.11, was released in November 1993. 63, 64. It was codenamed Snowball, and it introduced the support for 32-bit file access, drive sharing, and group calendaring. 65, 66. It also has built-in fax capabilities. 67. It received network improvements. A WinSec package was released for Windows for Workgroups, although it was later replaced by a 32-bit stack add-on package, codenamed Wolverine, that provided TCP/I support in Windows for Workgroups 3.11. 68, 69, 70. Its connectivity with networks was increased, while it has also introduced support for Open Data Link interface cards and Internetwork Packet Exchanger drivers. Remote Access Service was introduced as a product for users in order to remotely access Windows NT and its advanced server nets. 67. It runs in 80,386 enhanced mode, and it supports the use of network redirectors. 53, 56, 71. It was sold in 2 versions. The complete package cost $219, while the Workgroup add-on for Windows cost $69. 66. System requirements. The official system requirements for Windows 3.1 and following versions include the following. Minimum system requirements: Windows 3.1, 8, 1824, 14, 13 modular Windows, 72, Windows for Workgroups, 73, 18 CPU 80286 processor for standard mode, 80,386 wire for enhanced mode, 80386 processor wire 386SX processor or higher, IM 1 MB of memory, 640 kilobytes of conventional memory, 4 MB of memory, 3 MB of memory, 640 kilobytes of conventional memory. Storage: a hard disk with at least 6.5 megabytes of free space, 8 megabytes for enhanced mode users, and at least one a floppy disk drive. A hard disk with at least 20 MB of free space. A hard disk with at least 8 megabytes of free space, 14 megabytes needed for a complete installation, and at least one floppy disk drive. Video FK adapter network. Optional hardware includes a Hayes, Multitech, Trailblazer, or any other compatible modem. If user wants to connect onto a network, an adapter card with network device interface specification, DIS, driver. Optional hardware includes a Hayes, Multitech, Trailblazer, or any other compatible modem as MS-DOS 3.1 or higher, MS-DOS 3.22 wire, and Windows 3.1 MS-DOS 3.3 or higher. Computers that act as servers require MS-DOS 5.5 or higher. Maushia Microsoft compatible pointing device is recommended, but not required. In order to use a printer or to run Windows on a network, additional 2.5 megabytes of free space will be needed on the hard drive. 8. 19. The amount of RAM is dependent. If the user is on the network and if the network requires a lot of memory, more RAM will be needed. 8. 21. Windows 3.1 includes more drivers for printers than its predecessor. 8. 25. It is also possible to connect onto a network using Windows 3.1 via Hayes Multitech or Trailblazer modems. 8. 26. 14. Reception. Windows 3.1 is considered to be more stable and multimedia friendly in comparison with its predecessor, while its user interface was reinvigorated. 2. 34. It has been shown as an improvement, and it possesses more features in comparison with its rival IBM OS 4/2 2.0, which launched a month earlier than Windows 3.1.3. InfoWorld rated the operating environment a very good value. 74. Although Windows 3.1 is also considered to still have problems, unrecoverable application errors were common, while file managing remained slow. 75. Windows for Workgroups had received lukewarm reception. It has been praised for its technical design, although it has been also noted as a business disappointment due to its small amount of sold copies. 76. Regarding the marketplace, Windows 3.1 had received an enthusiastic reception. Its retail price sat at $149 and over 3 million copies of Windows 3.1 were sold in the first 3 months. 10. 77. 78. The year of Windows 3.1's release was successful for Microsoft, which...
Yes, you will see this crazy, that's $149. Even today, that's a lot of money. So this is a simple piece of software. $150, 3 million, so that's alone 1,150,000. That's like $450 million for that's very a tiny piece of software. So that, of course, when you're getting 500 million, that's just Windows 3.1. Then the sale, I don't know how much. 10 millions of the Windows 3, so that make like $1 billion just on a Windows 3.0 and 3.1. But let's finish reading this. Oh, the power is red. So of course, when you get more than like 2,000 millions of dollar money, you're getting a mountain of money. You can continue to develop. Like then they make Windows 95, So they make a mountain of money just on Windows 3.
Was named the most innovative company operating in the US by Fortune magazine, while Windows became the most widely used GUI-based operating environment. 79. Microsoft ended its support for Windows 3.1 and Windows for Workgroups on the 31st of December, 2001, although the embedded version of Windows for Workgroups 3.11 was retired on November 1, 2008. 80, 81, 82. The operating environment was superseded by Windows NT 3.1, which was released in 1993, and Windows 95 in 1995. 83, 84. DR-DOS compatibility. The installer of the beta release used code that checked whether it was running on Microsoft licensed DOS or another DOS operating system, such as DR-DOS. 85. It was known as AARD code, and Microsoft disabled it before the final release of Windows 3.1, although it did not remove it. 86. Digital Research, WON DR-DOS, released a patch within weeks to allow the installer to continue. 87. Memos that were released during the United States v. Microsoft Corporation antitrust case in 1999 revealed that Microsoft specifically focused it on DR-DOS. 88. When Caldera bought DR-DOS from Novell, they brought a lawsuit against Microsoft over the AARD code, which was later settled with Microsoft paying $280 million. 89. 90. Legacy. Windows 3.1 found a niche market as an embedded operating system after becoming obsolete in the PC world. By 2008, both Virgin Atlantic and Qantas employed it for some of the onboard entertainment systems on long-distance jets. It also sees continued use as an embedded OS in retail cash tills. 91. On July 14, 2013, Linux kernel version 3.11 was officially named Linux for Workgroups as a tongue-in-cheek reference to Windows for Workgroups 3.11. 92. In November 2015, the failure of a Windows 3.1 system in Orly Airport of Paris, which was responsible for communicating visual range information in foggy weather to pilots, made operations temporarily cease. Whether the failure was hardware or software based is not specified, though the highlighting of the operating system suggests a software failure. 93, 94. In 2016, the Internet Archive Organization released Windows 3.1 as an emulated environment in a web browser. 95. It is also possible to install Windows 3.1 as an emulator on an iPad. 96. See also Microsoft Windows. Windows and
Yes, got less 1.5 minutes. So Microsoft did sell like 10 million copy of the Windows 3 to like, I don't know, crazy $50, no hundreds, no, then $50 each or more. Then they did sell the 10 million copies. Then they sell Windows 3.1 $149. Even today $150 is a lot of money. So they make like a mountain of money, like 2,000 million dollars, 2 billions of American dollars, a crazy number of money. And this piece of software is not very complicated. It's just a graphics shell on the very primitive DOS operating. The Microsoft DOS, they just put a graphics shell. Then they use this mountain of money to make Windows 95. I will read about next. But I have to use my other Canon camcorder. I don't know where my Canon camcorder is. I have to look. It's maybe still in the charger. Yes, it's still in the charger. So Microsoft did spend this mountain of money from Windows 3 to make Windows 95, so I'll read about it next video, but now I have to charge this camcorder. So I will download a fresh copy of the Windows 95 PDF.